All right, we're going to talk about cryptocurrency. Are you interested? It is the hot topic for today. We're also going to talk about blockchain, the technology behind cryptocurrency, which for me is more interesting than cryptocurrency. How many of you are already involved in cryptocurrency? You bought cryptocurrency? Raise your hand. I just want to see the people who are involved. Thank you. Okay. So here we are. We're ready to roll. The guy who's going to share with us is none other than one of our mentors here in the Truly Rich Club. And he's always in the cutting edge of technology. Every time I meet him, he's always doing something new. And he's always there, the newest thing. And that's the reason why he is who he is right now. Please welcome your friend, my friend, our mentor, Ronnie Siasoyco.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Good afternoon. It's always difficult to talk after lunch. So, are you awake? Okay. I'm sure you're awake because a lot of you are actually excited to hear about Bitcoin. Who here has not heard of Bitcoin yet? You haven't heard of Bitcoin? Really? Where have you been hiding? Who else has not heard of Bitcoin yet? Okay, just now. Okay. Who has a Bitcoin? Who has invested in Bitcoins? Raise your hand, please. Oh, a good. Okay, that's exciting. Okay. Who bought at 19,000? Okay. Actually, Brother Bo asked me to talk a little bit about Bitcoin and blockchain today because a lot of people have been asking him about it. Okay. And if you would notice, I actually went a little bit around the tables this afternoon, and I noticed that in many tables, they are actually talking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So I think it's high time that who were attendees of the Bohol, what's this? Super Conference. Who attended Bohol Super Conference? Okay. Who acted on the presentation at the Bohol Super Conference? Why? Because I'll skip the introduction because probably almost everybody knows about Bitcoin in the room, no? When I first started talking to the mastermind about Bitcoin and blockchain, the price of Bitcoin was around $400. Okay, and then when I presented in Bohol, that was 2016, October 2016, Bitcoin was doing around $600-700. Okay, and still nobody acted on it. And if you knew when I presented about Bitcoin and blockchain at that time, if you knew it was going to go $14,000 today, would you have bought? Diba? Hindsight is always 20/20. Okay, that's true. Okay, today, actually January 8th, today it's actually around doing 14,200. Actually, I checked this morning, it's $14,200. It went to as high as 20,000. Yeah, it went to as high as 20,000. When was this? This was in December, late December. It went to as high as $20,000. It has corrected and it has gone all the way to 10,400 after reaching 20,000, and then recovered to 16,000, went down to 13, and recovered again. And it's a fun ride. It's a fun ride. Okay, what makes Bitcoin special? Okay, Bitcoin is actually currency in the digital realm. Okay, it is cryptocurrency because it is created through cryptographic algorithms. Bitcoin is transferable, but cannot be duplicated and cannot be bought, cannot be spent twice in a single transaction. Cannot be duplicated, no double spend, and a lot of people have actually taken notice because it is an entirely new revolution. Comparing Bitcoin and fiat money, okay, fiat money is our currency, peso, US dollars, currency that is created by governments or central banks for that matter. Both have no intrinsic value. One, fiat money is legal tender, and it is a social contract. We understand that if I pay you peso, I'm transferring value to you. If I pay Andrew for services rendered, I use my money. It's the same thing with Bitcoin. But the difference is the Bitcoin is not created by any government. Okay? It is not based on paper and ink. It's all 100% digital, cryptographic. You use mathematical solutions to create Bitcoin through algorithms. Fiat money is discretionary, meaning if the central banks want to print more of it, they can do so at will. And this is exactly the reason why the governments like the United States of America is able to fund all of their wars, because it's easy for them to keep printing money to pay for all of their wars globally. And at a certain point, it's going to catch up. Okay? At a certain point, it's all going to catch up, especially with what's happening with the petrodollars now. But that's another talk altogether. Okay. It is fiat money is Wixelian, ruled by Wixelian interest rates. What is Wixelian interest rates? Wixelian interest rate is the natural interest rate, meaning the natural rate of return that currency, that money requires. There are two kinds of interest rates: Wixelian, the natural interest rate, and the financial interest rates. What we're familiar with is the financial interest rates, the interest rates that we pay to borrow money. Okay, the balance between Wixelian interest rates, the natural interest rate, and the financial interest rates is what determines whether the economy is going to be inflationary or deflationary. So if the financial interest rates is lower than the natural interest rate, it is inflationary because it's cheaper to borrow money. Okay, but it's good for business because then you can borrow money and create more value. If financial interest rates go higher than the natural interest rates, it is deflationary because it will stop liquidity from the market because it will be more expensive to borrow money. So how are the central banks balance the rates between financial interest rates and Wixelian interest rates is the job of central bankers of the world. Now, with Bitcoin, there is no such thing. Why? Because it is all determined by supply and demand. The supply of Bitcoin is created through mining. As miners do their work, they get paid and they create new Bitcoins, which I will explain later. There are 1,250 plus other altcoins. Any new coin other than Bitcoin is considered an altcoin or alternate coin. Okay, there are many popular altcoins now. So there's Dash, there's Ethereum, there's Monero, there's Ripple, there's Litecoin, and many others. 1,250 of them. And merong bagong coin na ni-launch dito sa Pilipinas. Who has heard of my crop coins? Oh, Edward, friend mo yung nag-launch nito. Si Kalata. My crop coins. Crop? Hindi ko alam kung ano ibig sabihin ng crop. Ika-crop niya yung mga pera nyo. Yari kayo. Probably 251 na kasi may my crop na eh. Okay. So, Bitcoin price today, it's 14,200. I'm sorry, hindi pala kita masyado. Okay, it's 14,200 today. So you see the graph. It goes up and it corrected a huge correction, more than 40% correction. And then, okay. I just want to discuss this a little bit, okay? Comparative transaction costs of Bitcoin and some popular altcoins. Transaction speed, as of January 11, it takes 51 minutes for a Bitcoin transaction to be verified and cleared. 51 minutes, okay? For Ripple, it takes 3.29 seconds, and for Ethereum, it takes 15.31 seconds to clear a transaction. This is actually one of the reasons, I think, why Bitcoin is at a disadvantage compared to other altcoins, because it takes too long to confirm the transaction. There are actually moves now to increase the throughput of Bitcoin by, there's Lightning, there's effort to do Lightning. It's a system that is attached to the Bitcoin algorithm that will enable them to, actually it's going to be off ledger. These are all off ledger transactions, so that whatever is confirmed is actually going to be registered in the blockchain. But that is not yet online. I think pinangako nila yon 2 years ago na matatapos na, hanggang ngayon hindi pa rin tapos. So I don't know how. The Swig wallet is actually a new one, which actually functions very well now. It is also supposed to increase the throughput of Bitcoin, but there's only 10% of all the wallets all over the world are Swig compliant. So medyo the exchanges have to enable their wallets to have this Swig attachment for them to be able to increase the throughput. Okay. Median transaction cost, this is also a big problem. As of January 10, Bitcoin's transaction cost is $16.449 per transaction. If you're going to transfer a small amount of Bitcoin, it might actually be more expensive to use Bitcoin as a transfer of, but this is all because of the throughput. It is a function of supply and demand. If I have a 1,000 Bitcoin transaction, I'm willing to pay $16 so that my transaction is going to go through very, very quickly. I can put that in my transaction. I will offer $40 if I want to. Sigurado ko, within a few seconds, tapos yung transaction ko. Mabe-verify yun. But if I put it, say, at $2, pagka wala na silang lahat ng miners, pag wala na makuha na transaction na pwede confirm, yun, mako-confirm nila agad yung transaction mo. But then, it's a priority list based on how much you're willing to pay for your transaction to be confirmed. So this is a problem. This is the advantage of Ripple. Ripple transaction cost is only 1 US cent per transaction, no matter how big your transaction is. And it's also very fast because they can do 1.3 million transactions per day. At the moment, this is as of last night. Bitcoin does only 300,000 transactions a day. Okay. This is actually interesting. The biggest advantage of Bitcoin over all of the other altcoins is market dominance. They are the most recognized and they control the most in value, in market capitalization. At a certain point, nakita nyo yung graph, sobrang laki ng Bitcoin, sobrang liit ng altcoins. But now, Bitcoin is slowly losing its dominance, actually. If you compare Bitcoin kasi has no other function other than being a coin. Okay? Like, meron kang piso, wala na ibang function niya kundi pambayad ko sa'yo. Yun lang ang function ng Bitcoin. With Ethereum, it's totally different. Ethereum is a technology that allows you to have smart contracts in it. So you can actually make use of Ethereum to develop other applications, real-world applications. Ethereum is more of an enabler. Kasi nga, meron siyang smart contract capability. So if I were to, say, hire a consultant and tell the consultant, I will pay you X number of Ethereum for these deliverables. Sa smart contract ko, ipoprogram ko yung deliverables ng consultant ko, okay, at a certain time frame. Pag hindi niya nagawa yun, kasi I can put the entire consultancy transaction in one transaction. Ipapasok ko lang ng ganun dun sa smart contract. And the smart contract will take care of monitoring whether that consultant is actually complying with their commitments. And if they comply within the specified time frame, automatic nababayaran siya from that transaction alone. That is actually doable in Ethereum, but you cannot do that in Bitcoin. In Ripple, it's actually very ideal for remittances because it's very fast and it's super duper cheap. If you notice, Ripple's, yung blue na yan, yung dark blue na tumaas ng ganun, that's Ripple. It has actually, I was able to buy Ripple at 19 cents. It went to $3.60. Yes. And it's now doing at $2. Yeah, $2 now. Okay. And I bought that what? November lang yata. Yeah, I think November lang. Yeah, at 19 cents. Okay. Okay. This is Bitcoin a bubble? This is the graph of Bitcoin. This is the normal graph for stock market. Palagi natin nakikita to kasi si Edward lagi niyang sinasama ito eh. 'Di ba? Yung exuberance tapos biglang fear. Ano ba 'yan? Ano yung mga stages nung stock market cycle, ano, the bear and the bull cycle. This is the bear and the bull cycle graph of the stock market, and I just put it on top, the Bitcoin on top. You will see that the sentiment is exactly behaving the same way as the stock market. Parehong-pareho, wala siyang pinag-iba if you look at it. What does it mean? When you start doing transactions in cryptocurrency, you just need to understand and follow the rules of the game. Then you're actually going to be safe. But whether you're really going to be safe is really totally up to you because you're the ones pulling the trigger. Okay? What does this mean? This means that if a lot of people in the current financial world are saying that Bitcoin will be gone, I don't think so. It will stay. It will just behave exactly the way the stock market behaves because it will have real-world applications, especially other altcoins. Okay? If you hear somebody like a Warren Buffett saying, walang kwenta yan, don't even look at it, I think they're wrong. I would like to think that they're totally wrong. Why? Because cryptocurrencies is the most recognizable application of the blockchain technology. And it's a very small part of what blockchain technology is capable of doing. Blockchain technology is actually going to be the next wave of internet. Okay, what do I mean by that? Remember in the 1990s when the internet started taking the world by storm and everybody started talking about dot-coms, a lot of the incumbents at that time were saying that internet is a fad. a lot of people were saying that internet is going to be gone very, very soon. But just like when people were hooked to the radio and they didn't want to believe about television, it stayed and nawala yung TV. Ganun din nangyari. Internet actually stayed on. And now, nobody watches television anymore. My daughter doesn't care if there is a television in her room because she doesn't watch it anyway. She watches everything on demand on her mobile device. Diba? The same thing is going to happen with the blockchain technology. It is going to stay and it's going to revolutionize a lot of the things that we know and a lot of the things that we do. Okay? So eventually, after all of the entire cryptocurrency market corrects, it will again regain its sanity and we will start using cryptocurrency the way it ought to be used. Okay. Now, the exuberance is there because a lot of people are speculating because there is so much misunderstanding of the technology more than anything else. And it does not help that a lot of the people who actually issued coins are actually doing a lot of marketing to hype their own coins. Diba? So it's all that. It's all marketing. Parang si Armand, di ba, kanina, ang galing magbenta. Salesman talaga yun. Tignan mo, nagpagupit ako sa kanya dahil kabebenta niya sa akin. Pati pumada niya, ginamit ko. Di ba? Magaling magbenta yun eh. I've actually known Armand since 2004. Buti nga, magkaibigan pa rin kami ngayon. Ang dami namin pinagdaanan. Okay. So I'll show you a familiar graph. Diba? Doesn't it look exactly the same? Yan yun eh. It's exactly the same. So eventually, the cycle will just continue. Bear bull, bear bull, bear bull. The thing is, remember, Edward's always been telling us that the black swans now that used to happen every 50 years are starting to happen every 10 years. Diba? Umiiksi yung cycle ng stock market probably because of the prevalence of information. Before, 30 years ago, walang internet, so information was very difficult to come by. But since information is at everybody's fingertips, mas mabilis. So everybody's always informed of what's happening. If you look at the graphs, they behave exactly the same, but the duration is very short. So Bitcoin's meteoric rise happened, everything happened in 2017. Everything happened in 2017. By December, it was already correcting. So in 12 months, nangyari lahat yung buong cycle na yun hanggang dun. Diba? So umiiksi lang yung duration, but it behaves exactly the same. Okay. Any questions? Okay. What is a blockchain? I have time pa naman, ano? This is actually going to be... How much time do I have, Brother Bo? Okay. Walang sumagot. Ibig sabihin, akin lahat to. Okay. Okay. Blockchain is a distributed ledger. It's a ledger that records all of the transactions that happens in the network. So when I transfer money from myself to Andrew, for example, when I transfer Bitcoin or altcoins from myself to Andrew on a network, okay, I cannot transfer the same coins. So if I have one Bitcoin and I transfer it to him and I transfer it to Ferds, for example, in one after another, I cannot do that because the moment I send my transaction to Andrew, which happens first, that transaction is immediately recorded in a ledger. Tapos, ipoprocess na nung mga miners. The processing of the ledgers of the database is being done by miners. Okay. Incidentally, we have mining operations. Okay. Meron kaming, we rented a lot in one of the mountains in one of the provinces in Japan. And yung lote na yun, bakante siya, nasa taas siya, so malamig. Naglagay kami ng container doon. Tapos nandoon yung mga mining rigs. And we manage it from Manila. So online management and all of that. So those rigs are actually helping in validate transactions. So miners, their job is to validate transactions. And every time they validate, ang nangyayari nan, when they validate, they actually have cryptographic algorithms that they use to solve puzzles, to solve problems. And as they solve this, they're able to update the ledger. And whoever gets to update the ledger first gets to have the reward. This is how Bitcoin is created. Pag halimbawa, yung mining rig ko is able to solve a block, at the moment, I get 12.5 Bitcoins for one block solved, plus transaction cost. Remember the transaction fee I was telling you about? If it's Bitcoin, it's $16 average. Okay. I get part of that transaction fee as well. Yun. So may reward. So in the cryptocurrency world, there are two ways of earning actually. The transaction fee and the reward for solving a block. Okay. So we're trying to get into both. So this technology was actually conceived in 2008, launched in 2009, just at the same time as the global financial industry was actually in chaos, which is, I think, very, very timely. Okay, so each block, for example, block 52 cannot exist without referencing itself to block 51. And block 53 cannot exist without referencing itself to block 53. That's why it's called a chain. It's a blockchain. And what's nice about blockchain is that the data that is encoded in all of these ledger cannot be changed. It's immutable. There's no way to change it unless you, because when you change when you want to change, for example, meron kang ginawa sa block 53. Di ba sa accounting, pwede tayo mag-reversing entry o kaya yung mga ibang accountant mag-i-erase. Tapos babaguhin yung entry, babaguhin yung amounts, di ba? Ganun ang ginagawa ng ibang accountants eh. Kasi ako, accountant ako eh. Pero bawal yun, di ba? But it happens. It happens every day as we speak. That's why we have Enron. That's why we have all of these shenanigans in Wall Street. Because the accountants are doing their job, but not to protect the public, but to protect private interests. Di ba? In blockchain, if I have a transaction that I did in block number 23, and we are already in block 53, I need to redo all of the blocks from block 23 all the way back. Eh kung nasa block, what block are we on? 184,000 blocks na tayo? Ilang blocks na tayo ngayon sa Bitcoin? 400,000. We already have 400,000 blocks, di ba? More, 493,000 something blocks in the entire Bitcoin blockchain. So if I wanted to change a transaction that was done 1 year ago, lahat ng blocks na yun, i-redo ko, which is impossible. You cannot do it. Okay. So that is why that is the reason why a lot of the people in the financial industry do not really like the blockchain. Why? Because they cannot cheat. Simple. If I use blockchain for elections, there's no way to change the votes. No way. They cannot cheat. Yes? Okay. Moving forward. How blockchain works? I think everybody knows this. Okay. Okay. Sorry for assuming. Okay. If person A wants to send Bitcoin or any other altcoin to person B, okay, he keys in he goes to his wallet, which is public key. The public key identifies your wallet. Okay? So, sinong merong na mga wallet, na cryptocurrency wallet? I have. Who else has? Yung may Bitcoin, sigurado meron kayong cryptocurrency wallet. Okay. You open an account, just like opening an account in Call Financial, you have your account number. Diba? Your account number is your public key. It's basically that. It's the same. Now, your signature in your Call Financial account is your private key. The thing is, the public key and the private key has to match. What's nice is both public keys and private keys are algorithmic hexadecimal values. Hindi siya letters lang, hindi siya numbers lang, it's hexadecimal. So, mahirap siyang i-hack. 64 digits. Yeah. It's 64 digits. Yung account number mo, parang yung wallet mo, is 64 digits, all letters and numbers. So from A to Z and 0 to 9, lahat yun pinagmimix niya, 64 numbers. So that is your public key. And your private key is the same. Your private key is also 64 digits composed of any of all the letters and the numbers. So can you imagine, 64 characters, ang pagpipilian mo, 1 to 26 ng letters, tsaka 0 to 9 ng numbers. Ang daming combination. So that is how difficult it is to actually hack a wallet. Okay. So the transaction is represented in a block. And then the block is broadcast to all the miners. The miners will, in turn, verify and settle the transaction and record it in the blockchain, and automatically the value has been transferred to person B. Okay. Moving on. Question? If you have questions, it's actually the best to ask immediately. So don't wait for the end of the presentation, of the talk, because baka makalimutan nyo rin at baka makalimutan ko rin yung sagot. Sige, Larry, syempre. Larry, mahirap-hirap gawa ng business model canvas to, ha? Kasi bagong business model lahat ito.
First, salamat that you're taking the time and effort to present, because I've never seen a thorough presentation. So I want to thank you in advance that you've made a big effort in doing this for us. No?
I'm only parroting the knowledge I got from these three guys. I brought them here because there might be questions that I won't be able to ask. So Marie, Viner, and Ferds are here to answer more complicated questions just in case there are. Yes.
I think I have two questions, Ronnie. No? The first one is the name that I saw there is Nakasone, the Japanese who...
Nakasone is the former Prime Minister of Japan. Hindi siya yun.
I see. So this is another...
Satoshi Nakamoto.
Nakamoto,
Oh, yes.
okay. He's the brainchild. He's like the inventor.
He's the inventor of Bitcoin.
Linux or etc. He's the brain. Okay.
Yes.
And
he or they.
Yeah. So to know more, we have to understand this guy and how it got into his brain, etc.
That's exactly the reason why he created this.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything is anonymous, pseudo-anonymous. Everything. The entire system does not require you to identify yourself.
Okay.
So that's why even the very person of Satoshi Nakamoto is a mystery.
Okay.
So there's no understanding who they are or who he is, neither his person or his character. The only way to understand what he's created is by understanding blockchain and the Bitcoin.
Okay. So no use pursuing that direction for research. For research, no?
See? Kaya kailangan tatanungin ka agad eh.
Oh. The second one of the things I'm picking up, Ronnie, is the security. Aside from the economic ups and
Yep.
downs, the charts that you showed us, it follows the economic chart. The thing I'm hearing
I will
from you-
discuss that in a
No,
short while. The security.
Yes.
Because nothing can be more secure than the blockchain transactions.
Okay, I think that's the direction of my question. You know, when this whole technology thing started just a few years ago, now it's accelerating, erupting, and just going at an exponential rate in different areas, different fields, including now the financial area, cryptocurrency. No? The belief is this thing is solid. In other words, the hackers are always being fought back by the big boys, and no matter how strong they hack, and they hack again, and then the Filipinos
Yes.
involved in the last hacking, ang gagaling nila, they are able to have the other side, the counter-hacking groups, especially the moneyed groups, assure that they can always protect. They can always protect. No?
And they're unable to.
Well, sometimes the hackers succeed, sometimes they get repulsed, no? And it's a big business to be on the other side of the fence, no?
On the other side, meaning?
Meaning to say, if you can have a company that can help other companies or protect themselves
Okay. Yeah.
from
Understand.
attack
Yes.
of cryptocurrency, syempre, that's going to be money making, no? Because you're going to be helping certain people with lots of money protect their interests.
Blockchain can actually help them if they want to be helped.
Correct. So
Yes.
the counter to the counter, you're saying exists, no?
Yes.
I guess the point I'm making is this: no matter how brilliant people come up with something that can be good or that can be bad, there are other brilliant people that can come into the marketplace to counter it. No?
Okay.
And the word security.
I get you. I will discuss that in a few more slides.
Oh, so I'll just finish
Security.
the question.
Yes, go ahead.
Security bothers me
okay.
because no matter how secure I hear it is, and
Mm.
you can say it, and 100 other people in the world, smarter than us or you, can say it, it's very, very secure because of these algorithms. Big words scare me, the algorithm, for example. No matter how secure it's claimed to be, the human brain, especially the human brain with this kind of twisted, etc., is going to figure out a way to penetrate or to break down that security.
Larry, get to the question. I need it. I
That's
need
it.
the question very quick.
That's the question that I believe, maybe it's more opinion than a question, that no matter how secure it is claimed to be,
Okay.
because
I will
it
answer that question, that opinionated question, in a few minutes.
that's
Okay. Okay. I will move on very, very quickly. Baka paalisin ako ni Brother Edward kasi siya na yung susunod eh. Okay. 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 I will talk about the design principles of blockchain. This is where your question, Brother Larry, is going to be answered. Why do I need to discuss the principles of blockchain? Because it is when you understand the principle of this technology that you are able to understand why the people in this industry think that this is the best way to secure and to legitimize a lot of transactions moving forward in the future. And the more that we understand the principles of blockchain, the more that we are able to understand how it works, ergo, understand how we can make use of it in real-world applications. Why? Because if you look at cryptocurrencies now, they are dominating the discussion of blockchain itself. But in reality, the cryptocurrencies in blockchain is a mere enabler to the real-world applications in the future. Okay. This could probably, moving forward, probably 10 years from now, cryptocurrency could be less than 1% of the entire blockchain application. We're only seeing the beginning. This is the reason why it is very beneficial that Bitcoin behaved the way it did in 2017, because it drove the entire world into trying to understand what this technology is all about. It actually created awareness. And this is very good. Kasi a good technology will be nothing if there is no awareness and there is no uptake globally. Okay, so understanding blockchain will enable us to figure out how we can make use of this technology for businesses, for creating new forms of business, for creating new business models, which is what Larry likes to do. Diba? So if Larry eventually understands the principles of blockchain, he can update his business model canvas, yes, to become more attuned to the blockchain economy. Okay,